Welcome back, everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into something really fundamental, especially if you're navigating life here in Japan. We're talking about getting connected, getting that essential piece of tech, a phone number. If you've just arrived or you're planning to, you probably already know this isn't just about calls or social media. It's basically your key to unlocking daily life, finding an apartment, opening a bank account, even just using maps. But let's be honest, figuring out phone contracts in a new country with different systems, maybe a language barrier, it can feel pretty daunting. Our sources today, and we've looked at info straight from Rakuten Mobile, plus articles aimed at foreign residents. They really highlight these challenges.
They absolutely do. It comes up again and again as, well, one of the first big hurdles. You know, the established carriers might have complex plans, and the whole application process itself, it can be tricky, especially the ID stuff, the screening. So understanding your options and finding something straightforward is, well, crucial.
Right. And that's exactly what we want to do in this deep dive. We're going to try and simplify this whole process for you. We'll pull out the most important bits from our sources and focus on one provider that seems to be really gaining ground with foreign residents, Rakuten Mobile. Think of this as distilling the key info you need to potentially get connected without too much headache. Okay, let's unpack this. First off, why is having that Japanese phone number so critical for someone new here?
Well, like you said, it plugs into almost everything. Daily life, admin. Think emergency contacts, talking to your workplace, using online services. Even simple things like loyalty cards or food delivery often need a local number. And then there are the big things, setting up your residency, bank accounts, rental contracts. It's a standard requirement for those. Honestly, without a local number, you can find yourself surprisingly locked out of a lot of essential stuff.
Okay, so it's basically non-negotiable. You need one. Now, looking at the market, you have the big names, Docomo, SoftBank, OU. But our sources are showing a pretty interesting shift, aren't they? What's the data telling us about choices among foreign residents?
Yeah, it's quite striking, actually. Recent surveys show a really clear trend. MMD research data from 2025, for instance, suggests Rakuten Mobile is becoming the #1 choice for foreign residents. Their share in that survey was around 21%, but other recent info we looked at suggests their contract rate within this group has jumped even higher, maybe even hitting 25% now. That kind of rapid growth definitely signals they're offering something that resonates, particularly with people moving here from abroad.
Wow, 25%. That's a significant number. It really makes you ask, why are they pulling ahead like that? So this is where it gets really interesting. What are the main reasons our sources point to for this growing appeal?
The sources consistently circle back to simplicity and value. Their main plan, the Rakuten Saikyo plan, it's just usage-based. 3 tiers. You've got under 3 GB, then up to 20 GB, and then unlimited data beyond that. And what gets highlighted repeatedly is how competitive that unlimited tier price is, especially compared to unlimited plans from the other big carriers here. This simple structure really cuts through the usual complexity you find. And crucially, especially if you're new or maybe not sure how long you'll stay, the sources stress there's no minimum contract period. No cancellation fees either, unless, you owe money on a phone itself. That flexibility is a huge plus.
No minimum contract, no cancellation fees. That sounds like massive peace of mind when you're just trying to get your feet under you. What about the actual usage data and calls? Are there specific features jumping out in the sources?
Definitely. For people who use a lot of data, that truly unlimited cap, with no throttling apparently, is a big deal. But the feature that comes up constantly is the calling benefit. If you use their Rakuten Link app, calls within Japan are free, domestically free. But also, and this is a big one, international calls to certain countries are free too through the app. That's obviously a massive perk for keeping in touch with people back home. And then if you travel out of Japan, there's the included overseas data roaming. You get 2 GB a month, free in, I think it's over 90 countries now. No extra setup needed. You just land and it works.
Okay, wait. Free international calls and built-in free overseas data. That tackles 2 major communication needs for foreign residents straight away. That's pretty compelling. The sources also touch on how it links into the wider Rakuten ecosystem. What's the value add there?
Yeah, it's kind of like extra benefits on top. Maybe not the deciding factor for everyone, but nice to have. You can earn 5 times the Rakuten Points when you shop on their marketplace, Rakuten Ichiba. There's also 50 gigs of free cloud backup included, and access to some content like NBA games, Pacific League Baseball, Rakuten Music, Rakuten Magazine. often included. Now, the sources do mention there can be restrictions, so you need to check the details, but these perks definitely add to the overall package, especially if you end up using other Rakuten services anyway.
Right, adds to the value. And what about coverage? That's always a question with newer carriers.
That's a fair point, but the sources suggest they've made big strides. As of, I think it was December 2024, they were reporting 99.9% population coverage, and their 5G network is apparently expanding all the time.
Okay, so let's connect this back to those initial hurdles we mentioned, the complexity, the cost worries, language barriers, staying linked internationally. It really sounds like Rakuten Mobile's whole approach is designed to hit those pain points directly. Simple plan for complexity, competitive price for cost, international features, and we haven't really gone deep on the multilingual support yet, have we?
Not in detail, no, but that's definitely another key piece the sources bring up. And yes, you're right, putting all these features together, it does make for a package that seems particularly attractive if you're, navigating the Japanese system for the first time or just want something less complicated.
All right, so let's assume someone listening is thinking, okay, this Rakuten Mobile option sounds pretty good. Let's get practical. What does it actually mean for signing up? What do you physically need to have ready?
Okay, the absolute key item, according to all the sources, for foreign residents is your residence card. Or, if you have one, your special permanent residence certificate. That's your main ID for the contract. And the sources just keep hammering this point. The number one reason applications fail is a mismatch. The information on that card, name, address, date of birth, must match exactly what you put on the application form. Every single detail. Now, if the address on your ID isn't up to date, you might need something extra, like a recent utility bill or maybe a resident certificate Mario Gemino. But honestly, the sources often suggest just getting your ID card updated first is usually the simpler way to avoid problems. Oh, and if you do use a resident certificate, be careful not to include things like your My Number or your Hansakichi, your registered domicile.
That focus on exact matching is clearly super important. Okay, so residence card or special permanent residence certificate, check every character. Got it. How about paying for the service? Do you definitely need a Japanese bank account right away?
No, thankfully you've got options there. You can use a credit card, and they accept the major international ones. Visa, MasterCard, JCB, Amex, Diners Club. They also specifically mention that debit cards work too, which is definitely helpful for flexibility. Or if you do have a Japanese bank account set up, they support a whole range of them. The big ones like MUFG, Mizuho, SMBC, Japan Post Bank, plus lots of regional banks too.
Okay, payment flexibility is good. Now, you said document mismatches are a huge failure point. Can you give some specific examples from the sources? Like, what exactly trips people up?
Right. It often boils down to small things that the automated checks are really picky about. Obviously, blurry photos or not capturing the whole ID card is one thing, but mostly it's that information mismatch. Names are a big one. If your residence card shows your name in both kanji and romaji, you must use the romaji version on the application. If you have a middle name listed, make sure you put it in the right field or follow their guide if it's combined on the card, like first name and middle name together in the given name part. The sources give an example. If the card says Rakuten Taro Mobile, you'd enter surname, Rakuten, given name, Taro Mobile. Even tiny address differences, missing a building name, getting the room number wrong, can lead to rejection. Precision is absolutely key.
Wow, that level of detail is kind of surprising, but really good to know up front. Okay, so you've got your documents, check them twice, know your payment options, ready to be super precise. How do you actually do the application? Is it better online or should you go into a store?
You could do either. Online is obviously convenient. You fill everything out, upload your document photos. The main thing to remember for online, though, is you must use your legal name exactly as it is on your ID. No aliases or common names allowed online.
Okay, legal name only online. What about going into a physical Rakuten Mobile shop? Are there advantages there?
Yes, according to the sources, there seem to be some significant advantages, especially for foreign residents. A really big one they highlight is multilingual support. Apparently, 166 of their shops across Japan have AI translators like Pocket Talk that support 85 languages. That can make the whole conversation much less stressful if your Japanese isn't quite there yet for contract details. And here's a really practical bonus mentioned. That standard admin fee, usually around $3,850, it's waived if you apply in a physical shop.
Hold on, translation help, and you save almost 4,000 yen just by walking into a store. That sounds like a bit of a no-brainer for a lot of people.
It definitely seems like they're trying to make the in-person route more accessible and, well, cheaper, especially if the online forms feel tricky because of language or just how strict they are. The sources do mention a very, very specific situation where you might be able to use an alias or common name, but that's only in a store, only if your ID actually shows both names, and only for your very first Rakuten Mobile line ever. So realistically, for almost everyone, it's legal name.
Good to know the store option has those perks.
Hmm.
Okay, so there's one more really important thing we need to cover, especially if you want to maximize value right from the get-go. The sources talk about a specific campaign.
Ah, yes, the Rakuten Mobile Employee Referral Campaign. That gets mentioned quite a bit. Basically, if you sign up using a special referral link, you get Rakuten Points. If you're switching your number from another Japanese carrier that's called MNP, Mobile Number Portability, you get 14,000 points. If you're getting a brand new number or maybe adding a second line, it's 7,000 points.
And there's a key detail about this campaign that makes it stand out, right? Something about the conditions.
Exactly. Unlike some other deals where you have to, say, make a call with a specific app to qualify, the sources clearly state that for this specific employee referral campaign, using the Rakuten Link app is not required to get the points. Plus, and this is pretty unique, it's open even if you've had Rakuten Mobile before and canceled, or if you're signing up for multiple lines, you can get the bonus for up to 5 lines per person under this campaign. That eligibility for returning customers or multiple lines is definitely not something you see everywhere. Interesting. And those points, what can you actually do with them? They're quite useful. You can use them directly to pay your Rakuten Mobile phone bill. Or you can use them pretty much anywhere else in the Rakuten ecosystem, shopping on Rakuten Ichiba, travel, other services. They're like cash within Rakuten.
Right. So when you add it all up, the simple plan, the potential savings, those international features, the support options in stores, and now this points campaign, it really feels like Rakuten Mobile is making a strong, deliberate effort to be the go-to accessible choice for foreign residents. So if you're in Japan and needing a phone plan, or maybe thinking about switching, using this campaign seems like a really smart move. To actually get that bonus, you need the specific link for the Rakuten Mobile Employee Referral Campaign. We'll make sure that URL is right there in the description for this deep dive. Checking that out could be a great first step towards getting your phone sorted and making life here just that bit easier and more enjoyable.
Yeah, so just to quickly wrap the key points. Getting a phone contract here as a foreign resident can have its challenges, we know that. But providers like Rakuten Mobile seem to be really tackling those issues. You've got the Rakuten Saikyo plan, simple, pretty affordable, unlimited data option, free international calls via the app. That's a strong base. Then there's the support push multilingual help in many shops, and they waive the admin fee if you go in person. The application process is streamlined, but remember, precision with your documents, like your residence card, is absolutely vital. Get those details right.
Definitely. And thinking about all this, getting the phone sorted isn't just ticking a box. It really does unlock so much of your life here. Choosing a provider that not only has decent features, but also actively tries to make that initial sign up less intimidating with things like language support and simpler plans that can make a real difference to your whole settling in experience. So as you're navigating everything, maybe think about what aspect of getting connected feels most important to you. Is it keeping costs down? Is it having an easy, stress-free application? Or maybe it's those features that keep you linked to home and the world. Something to consider.